Gentlemen, it's the OG.
They said gray paved the way, changed the rain, released the pain, least you sane, getting paid, trend setting, brighter days, doper rap, tighter sets, high in Delhi, I'm a fighter jet, journey.
What's really good, ladies and gentlemen? It's the OG Boricua Dandada. I'm here with none other than my brother, Mr. Muffins Martinez. Mr. Muffins Martinez, what's really good, baby?
What up, guys? It's your boy, your quintessential Puerto Rican Muffin Jorge, aka Muffins Martinez. And man, Battle Riot was excelente last night.
Hell yeah. Now, before we go into that, we got Bill Vink of Generation E podcast. I think it's Generation Everyone, or is it Generation E podcast?
Gen E, but yeah, Generation Everyone for like the long acronym.
And you just interviewed former United States Marine Corps Gunnery Sergeant Rivera. Amazing interview. I gotta watch that. You know, it is what it is. Now, I was gonna sit here and talk about Battle Riot, but I was like, you know, I'm gonna be extremely biased. So Muffin, you're gonna, and I didn't tell you this, but you're gonna have to guide us through, because I'm gonna do a lot of I told you so's in this podcast. But please talk to us about Battle Riot.
So you have to go first?
Yes, sir.
All right, man. But okay, so basically, MLW went into Uncle Vince's bag, and what they did was, if you want to push somebody, you do the Uncle Vince way, which is you take the guy, you put him first or second, and you let him run the whole gauntlet all the way to the end. Last night, we saw who MLW is putting their chips on, and if you didn't see it, that is our boy, or actually, Chef's cousin there, Alex Kane, and I forgot his first name. My goodness, what's his first name?
Alex Kane, the suplex assassin. Put some respect on his name.
Yeah, Alex Kane. So basically, what they did was they put him there first. He did what he was supposed to do. When they had no more people inside the ring, they sent one person at a time. He showed different types of maneuvers, different types of suplexes, different types of how to submit somebody, because that's what he did. Everybody who came out, he submitted them in a specific way with a suplex and then a whatever move that he did. They did that. They definitely put Alex Kane on top of everything. They put the ship on him. They said, boy, here's the rocket. Go knock yourself out. See what you could do. By the end of the night, the crowd was screaming Bomaye. By the end of the night. So, no, it was perfect. The man, he stood up. He did what he was supposed to do. And then the last opponent he had was Davey Boy Smith. Got him in a couple of suplexes. Put a little arm bar there and choked him out. And it's a perfect way to end his feud with Davey Boy Smith and now start the new generation of Alex Kane as being the face of the company with Bomaye. I mean, you cannot script that show better than it was last night.
Okay.
The only thing that I don't understand is the calling nonsense.
Yeah.
Like how they threw all the calling guys all in there. It's like they're trying to force feed us the calling like down our throats. And I don't know. I still don't get the group. I don't get Raven. I don't get none of that shit.
Wait. Hold on. I want to revisit the calling as soon as we go through Kane. Let's kind of let's give Kane the flowers without mixing it up. But I seen something that I was really.
Yeah, Kane definitely gets the flowers for me. So
now during this match, and BV, if you want to jump in on this too. Now we interviewed Ray Jazz, right? Ray Jazz was one of the guys that had was at the
Yeah, cuteness,
Gypsy
aggression. Yep, Gypsy Mac shirt. New
Um,
shirt that she was put out.
I like it. I like it. I like it a lot.
Shout out to Gypsy Mac.
So Ray Jazz, like I said, we recently interviewed him. Great interview. We did, do the Super Bowl. He was one of the guys who had the one-on-one with Alex Kane. And if you watch that felt like pure mat wrestling. You know what I mean? Like they really gave each other, but it also gave the opportunity for Ray Jazz to show that he could be on this guy's level too, even though it's a quick, let's say a minute and change, but he battled him and showed his let's say arsenal that he could hang with somebody like Alex Kane too. So I thought that was very big for Ray Jazz as well. You also had Snitsky at one point. You had Duke the Dumpster Drosy, which I don't think I see since like early 90s.
Yeah.
And then you had, and I don't want to mess up Alberto El Patron's homeboy's name, but he was the mouthpiece for El Patron, so, the guy kind of does what he does. I know him as a manager. I do know he wrestles, but it is what it is. Snitsky looked like a monster, and not for nothing. I don't know when's the last time one of you guys seen Snitsky, but he still looked like exactly like Snitsky in WWE.
Yeah, except his beard is way longer now.
And he looked exactly the same. BB, what you got for Alex Kane? Now, I know you're hyped on this because you're someone like myself who's been a believer of Alex Kane from the beginning, but you also are on record on here saying Alex Kane was going to win the Battle Riot. So talk to me about Alex Kane he's also the longest participant time-wise that is in Battle Riot history. So he is legit the longest in and winning than anyone ever in MLW history. There's a lot of, like Muffins was saying, everything Muffin's saying is facts on what he accomplished and how they seem like the battery is in his back right now.
So he actually, fun fact, he actually broke that record off of Tom Lawler, who I believe came in, I think he was like third or fourth. He came in very early. So he just, I think, narrowly edged out Tom Lawler and that record. And Tom Lawler was the one who won that from an early spot too. If you go back to the first Battle Riot, it should be there. This was a pretty good Battle Riot. Normally, I'm not a fan like last year's when we had it. Not last year's, but the one. No, that's about right. With the one with Hammer winning, the first half of it was really good in my opinion, and then the second half left a little bit to be desired. But with this one, I think it was very.
Last year, Fatu won it.
It was very. Oh, was it Fatu? Sorry. Then the one before that. Sorry, I just remember a bit tired. And so looking at this, I think this was a very even Battle Riot, regardless of what people are going to say with Alex Kane kind of demolishing a lot of guys. But I don't feel that it hurt anyone. And I feel that everyone was showcased fairly. So for me, I think this was a really good Battle Riot. I think they actually got it right this time. And so to see, as I called this ages ago. So I think the next step now for Alex Kane is to beat the man with no personality whatsoever, Alexander Hammerstone. And I think that's what's next. Like I said, there's not much for me to say truthfully about this because I predicted this. I've been saying this. And
all right, let me cut you off. Now we know that Battle Riot and War Chamber are kind of their two biggest pay-per-views, kind of like Bound for Glory and Slammiversary, right? It's kind of like Impact's version of those. But if you're going to have Alex Kane take the belt off of Alexander Hammerstone, what pay-per-view should it be on? Do you think it's going to be on the July one, the Never Say Never, or I think that's what it's called, the July Never Say Never?
The other way, I think, no. I think he's going to have to wait a little while, truthfully, just because Hammerstone's got to finish whatever this bullshit is with the calling, and that may take a couple months. Truthfully, if they're still building up the calling, and with the way it seems they wanted them to have a presence in this, that means I don't think they're going to be going anywhere anytime soon. So I think we should be prepared for a long-term program with the calling. Then I think after that they'll give it to Kane. I could easily see the calling going into like the middle of summer. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a very long-term program because like with this faction, as much as I don't like it, MLW seems to be heavily invested on making these guys like the thing, and I don't think we can say that Ricochet and Page is worthy of a title shot yet, but I think they have to build them up to that. So I think that's what they're trying to do, to make him a legitimate threat. They've made the group look like a legitimate threat, but they haven't made their guy look like a legitimate threat yet. I mean, I'm trying to give them props. Well, I'm trying to give them props somewhere without shitting on it. I hate this fucking group. I think they're wasting time. No, I know,
and you did bury the group last time on when Muffins wasn't able to make it. But my thing is, you see, you're saying that they look good right now, right? Now I'm not saying they look good.
I'm saying that they are trying to do something, and it's.
No, I understand that. But what my point last time was that you sat back and this is the first faction match they had, right? So you had a War Chamber, which is huge, right?
Yes.
They don't even get a what I would call a clean win, because anyone that watches wrestling will say, well, Hammerstone got hurt. That's the only reason why they won. So they don't even get that big, okay, we're here thing, right? Like you took that away with the Hammerstone
But
injury.
They can take credit for that.
But it wasn't like they worked the leg or they worked, you know.
That's fair. But like, how many times have we seen other wrestlers and other companies, right, take credit for like the smallest things, and it's got.
But that's because most of them work the injury. Like you'll see like a guy constantly lock in on an arm bar.
Yeah, that's fair. But we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what's going to happen on these following tapings. So they could, try to jump in backstage.
There's a lot of stuff there. I like the aggressiveness of the calling, right? Like we've had this conversation. I like the aggressiveness of the calling. There's little things that I do like. War Chamber kind of made me fall backwards on them, which was very weird to me because I went in saying, well, this is my group. I'm gonna like them because they're the bad guys. But the Matthew Justice guy, and I know it's taken away from Battle Riot right now, but talking about the calling, talking about the feud, talking about with Kane, it all kind of ties in. When you watch War Chamber, you go, okay, who shined, right? To me, if you had to pick one over all the good guys, SGC and Hammerstone, you go, oh, that Matthew Justice guy, he killed it. And to me, Matthew Justice looked the best out of all the good guys. If you look at the bad guys, Akira did his thing in spots, but I think Delirious looked better than all of them, right? I was like, okay, so Delirious, the new guy comes in. Ricochet Page looked the worst, and he's the veteran of the group.
But you also got to understand too is that, and you guys made this. I think it was either you or AB that said this last week, and it was that two of the three are just hardcore guys.
Yeah.
So that you're taking an environment.
Page and Akira are deathmatch guys.
Okay, so you're taking them into an environment where they can apply that deathmatch style some degree, but they still have to be very technical. But they still have to be very technical. That War Chamber is a very technical wrestling environment, and if you don't have wrestlers who are very technical and skillful, that's the problem right there. So it was a mismatch.
See, but I think
that group.
I think War Chamber isn't meant for a lot of bigger dudes. Because Ricochet Page is a heavy-set guy.
That's true, though, because we had...
Dr. Cornelius is a big guy. Alexander Hammerstone's a big guy. If you flooded that with 6 or 8 small, like middleweight guys or whatever, they fly around, they do their thing, there's enough space. When you start putting in these big dudes, it narrows the space to what you can actually work. If you pick up Ricochet Page or Ricochet Page picks up Hammerstone, you're covering a lot of that ring on just dropping them. There's a lot of moves you can't really do with that many dudes in the ring.
Yeah, but I mean, they've had that, and they've done it again. I think like 2 years ago, it was Contra who had the two big dudes, and then they had
EJ and
Fatu in
Hammerstone and
there.
them.
Yeah, so it was the same amount of big people in there. What's the difference?
And how fast did it end? When Hammerstone came in, it ended really fast.
Well, yeah.
All right, so let's go kind of back into actually the calling. I want Muffins touch on the calling because I know you feel a certain way about Raven and what it is.
Well, it's like I was expecting them to come one at a time, and one person got the number, and the whole crew came out. There was like 7 people, and I'm thinking just like they just flooded the whole ring with just the calling guys.
Yeah.
And then it's like they haven't given us any chance to like really invest in their group, because the first couple of weeks it was them throwing cards and then the little backstage stuff, and then we saw them wrestle for the first time at War Chamber, and now this one, Battle Riot. So the 2 matches that we've seen them have been gang mentalities group matches. So it's like the whole calling was there, and you're like, well, who the hell is who? There's like 6 guys with different gas masks on. Well, gas mask 1, gas mask 2. Then you see one of the Cesar Duran's guys with the mask. So that's
guys.
Underground guy, mask number 1. So it's just when the calling came in, it just kind of just got real messy because I didn't know who the hell was what, except for the 4 guys, and Raven is sitting in the corner like he always does. So I'm thinking that's like, there's no point for this calling shit. Like, what's the point? It's like they're trying to build a new Contra in a month, when contract took years to build to what they were.
Yep.
So for that, just replace Raven with my arch nemesis Josef Samael. So
It really didn't take that long to build.
Not all those guys came in one after the other.
No, that's true. But the original set, it was Simon Gotch, Jacob Fatu, Joseph Samael. They had came in during the Battle Riot, stabbed somebody or something like that, tried to light somebody on fire in the Battle Riot when they debuted. Yeah. And then whatchamacallit, who did win that? I think it wasn't Fatu, was it?
I think it was Fatu. I think it was Fatu on that one too.
Yeah, because then he beat Lawler for the belt like a month later. Their rise to that world title was very like, if you blinked, you missed it. And then from there, that's when the group started to actually build. So I can see what they were trying to do, but it just makes it look like this is like the Wish. Who said this last week? Someone said it was like the Wish version 2.0 of Contra, and I was like, damn. But it's true, yeah. So there you go.
But you know what though? It comes back to what I said though, and regardless of what anyone thinks they're calling. When you have Contra Union now, because I'm a super fanboy for them, but none of the wrestlers had to work. Like, they just had to wrestle. Joseph Samael cut all the promos, did all the crazy stuff. They just had to perform. Raven is not good enough to do that, and there's no disrespect to Raven. But when have you known Raven to really cut a promo that you're like, oh shit, what? Because he sits in a corner and does this is Raven shit? Like, come on, yo! It's not even. He's not even the same stratosphere.
Not since the ECW days under Paul E dangerously. Yeah. So and now he's like pushing 58. So I mean, shit.
I mean,
come on, guys! Like, really, come on now.
I mean, at that point, like, and I've said this, you should just have Ricky Shane Page as the guy. Like, you know what I mean? Ricky Shane Page could have been the leader of the group and whatever. But you feel that Alex Kane has to wait for Hammerstone to finish this.
Because I don't see, booking-wise, it doesn't make sense to have him just fight him just yet.
Why?
Because I have a really bad feeling what they're going to do is they're going to somehow try to tie in the calling to help this guy beat Hammerstone, and it's going to take away from that. I'm serious. I really feel like that's what they would do. So that way you can take Hammerstone out of the world title picture, right? And then you can have him finish that feud up with the Calling, eventually try to come back to that rematch for the world title. And it leaves fans to wait for that rematch. And that would be the only saving grace, that it leaves fans wanting the rematch to see can Kane beat him without help or interference. And then but then again, it also kind of hurts his credibility a little bit. The only thing I think that would help that is if you have him go against other contenders, you can have him pick up his feud with Davey Boy Smith really quickly for that title. You can have him go against.
Okay, now let's kind of do a little fast forward, right? So right now your champions are Taya, right? Taya, Lindsay Dorado, SST, which is Lance and Juicy. Your open weight is Hennigan, right? I think he's still the.
Well,
Hennigan's the champion, right?
Yeah, Hennigan beat didn't he beat Lindsay? Hennigan?
For the middleweight?
Middleweight,
okay.
yeah.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah,
my fault. Hennigan is where I said Lindsay is. So yeah, Hennigan, SST, Taya. Who's the national openweight right now?
No, yeah. Okay, so
no, Hennigan beat Davey Boy. Davey Richards.
Davey Richards. Yeah.
So he's the national overweight.
Lindsay, because then Leo Rush stole Lindsay Dorado's belt.
Okay. So, but Lindsay's still technically champ, even though it's not in his possession. John Hennigan is the national openweight. SST, Hammerstone, and Taya. Okay.
Without us revealing any type of spoilers.
No spoilers. But what do you do with SST then? What is SST really gonna? You can't just keep feeding them random tag teams. You got to put them in some kind of storyline.
They're tag teams though.
But they don't have a big enough roster to say, look, they're going through all our tag team guys, right?
Yeah.
So
and that's what they've been bringing tag teams out of the blue. Like this last taping, they brought in the main event.
Yeah.
To go against them, now you still have the FBI and the Bulldogs, the Barrington Bulldogs,
Billington Boys,
Barrington Bulldogs or whatever. So they don't have the big name tag teams like they used to have a couple of years ago. There's no more Von Erichs, there's no more 5150. So
and no more Hustle and Power neither.
Yeah, exactly. So the big name tag teams are gone. They have to start building again, bringing in some new tag teams, or you're gonna bring just one tag team every taping.
Would you not want to see SST versus the Calling?
And what? Akira and Shane?
But you also have Dr. Cornelius.
Yeah, Cornelius or Delirious.
And Delirious. Yeah, you have 4 guys.
Yeah, but it doesn't do anything for me though. It doesn't have the same star power as the other names that I mentioned.
Yeah. I don't know. Like the way I see it, we all like Alexander Hammerstone, right? We all like Hammerstone. I think they should have been put a mouthpiece. Now, you can't say that because Alexander Hammerstone in ring is money. In ring, he's money. He just is not good at cutting promos, right? So you should have put somebody around them. You could have put some random female, like they kind of did with a Toot, even though, Holiday didn't need a Toot. But if you put somebody with Hammerstone, let her do the talking, even if she's just like his agent or his business associate, whatever, she does the talking like, nah, you're going to go through me to talk to the champ, blah, 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 blah. It makes him more relevant because you don't really give a shit. And they never even had promos for this guy. Hammerstone's never anywhere except for in ring, which is the weird thing to me about the champ. So it takes away from him. But you're going to tell me that we still have to wait when he's had a pedestrian at best run, and now Alex Kane has to sit there and go, all right, well, maybe by fucking September, October, I get mines.
Well, the way
it
things are
builds
going now,
anticipation.
and the way how things are going now, it looks like the next live show is going to be in July, with May and June being the last two tapings that they just had. Because next week is the last week that they'll be on Reels.
So Fusion comes back after that?
Well, from what somebody sent me this article that they found, and I read it earlier, supposedly next week is the last week on Reels. After that, they're taking their mini break again. I was gonna tell you that earlier. I said, "Oh, come on, not this stupid break again." Go ahead, Junior.
Well, that plays perfectly fine. I mean, it sucks from MLW fans, but that plays fine into what I was saying then. Because here's my thing: if they don't solve this calling issue by the time that mini break happens, which they're not, it's impossible.
Well, no, hold on, because he's saying technically, listen, there's one more episode, right?
Yeah. No, there's two. There's two.
Oh,
whoa,
so there's two more episodes.
There's one more episode next Thursday on Reels, and then that's it. They still haven't announced what's going to happen, but it's saying that it's next week the last episode, to then go on a mini break to probably go back to YouTube or Being Sports for the last two tapings that will take them through May and June, and then July you'll have the new show, which supposedly they're trying to build into a pay-per-view type of deal show. So
no, my worry with the break is just say it's a mini break, and I don't know for how long, right? But if this taping
right now, if it's true, it'll be 2 months, the whole May and the whole June.
Which and then July they'll go back to what was already done.
Yeah, because you still have two tapings that they just did back-to-back days in New York and Philly. So you have those two tapings that will last you the whole May and the whole June.
No, all right. I think I'm getting confused with what you're saying. Okay, so there's not really going to be a layoff. It'll be maybe a week or two, and then in May, in the end of May, they'll put what we've already seen, and then June they'll what was already done, and then July will be the new one.
Yeah, because then July they're going to have the new pay-per-view down in Philly.
Okay. I was worried that
Never Say Never that you mentioned, or whatever the name is.
Yeah,
they want to turn that into a pay-per-view. They're saying
I was worried that it was going to be all of May gone, and then bring it into June, into July, and then July's we'll see in August.
Well, yeah, no, because July will be in July, because then they don't have anything else to give us. So they're going to have to start doing something right there and then on the July show.
See, but that hurts the following, because people have been seeing it. This is what they do all the time, and then they wonder why it takes so long to get back on a track again, because people like, this was done in April. Why am I watching this in June?
So like Junior said, you will have the calling against Hammerstone for the next 2 months, where they'll be on a break because they won't be doing any more live shows till 8 July. So you'll have, the ending connections from now till then with the calling, if they're still going to be around, what's going to happen with Alex Kane going forward with Hammerstone. Are they going to have the match in July? That's all the questions that now will come and get answered in the next 2 months.
Well, here's my thing. If they don't push this match for the end of summertime, they're probably going to wait till Kings of Colosseum. And
that's November, dude.
I think that they'll wait till.
Okay.
Yeah,
I wasn't sure if it was that far off.
Well, it's
Kings of Colosseum is usually like after Halloween into November.
Which that's not true. Normally, Kings of Colosseum well, they originally used to do it back in January or February, so that's the date I was looking at. But and the reason why that might be, yeah, you got to think
God,
they're taking a mini break, and that gives them time to actually get Hammerstone finish that calling crap up, and then they can actually build to what would be the next super fight, essentially.
But if they're having a show in July, which they're trying to do into a pay-per-view, wouldn't that be the perfect chance to have Alex Kane against Hammerstone as your main event?
There's a possibility but then how does that not get ruined?
Because
it's
the next 2 months,
it's their first live since
yes, but then my problem is where is the build?
From the next 2 months right now, that'll happen now, starting next week, going to July.
So somehow Hammerstone's gonna not worry about the calling at all. It's just be focused on Hammerstone and Kane.
Remember, 2 weeks ago they did 2 tapings, one in Philly and one in New York. We don't know what happened. We don't know if there's any matches against them going forward.
Right, but
only thing we've seen the last week has been War Chamber for one show and Battle Royal from the Saturday show.
Battle Riot.
So you still have 2 tapings to go off. So if
that's fair, but in 2 tapings,
say it again.
I mean that is fair, and I think I get where you're coming from. But in 2 tapings, you're just gonna fix this calling issue that they have, and then
because remember, it's 2 tapings. It's an hour per show, so that's for 4 weeks. Is 4 hours, 1 hour every week in 1 whole month. Plus, we don't know, and also they're playing into the fact that he's hurt, so they don't know if he's going to be able to defend the title in July or not, because supposedly he's hurt. And they built up to the last episode where they were saying, well, are we going to have, is he going to get stripped? Is he going to, something's going to happen from now till then? So if they don't finish the calling stuff and he's really hurt from the issue with the what was it that happened? He had like something torn in his leg
or some shit.
Yeah, he pulled a hammy or something.
Yeah.
So they don't know if he's going to be able to, wrestle in July after this 2-month break. So it's going to be in the air if he's even going to defend the title.
Yeah, but the whole point of the Battle Riot is to award the winner a shot at the title. So why would he insert himself in that type of match when he would just wait to see who wins it?
Well, hold on. Hear me out, right? What Muffin is trying to say is you had 2 shows that were taped. One of the shows was taped in Manhattan, in New York, which I think was War Chamber was in New York. Yeah. But War Chamber that day also had multiple matches along with War Chamber. Same with Battle Riot
and
Philly.
And that was the card that we didn't go over for that taping.
We only went over Battle Riot last week.
Yeah, the only show Battle Riot.
Right, but do you remember when I asked you guys if you want to talk about any of the matches that were there on that Battle Riot card?
We couldn't because the War Chamber was the only.
Right.
Wait,
but
hold on.
On that card,
wait. No spoilers. We do know what happened.
Right.
Okay. We can't talk it because it technically hasn't happened yet. It's not produced, so we're not going to put a spoiler out.
No, that's fair. Also, but my whole point is that there's no way and I just can't see them fixing this problem in 2 months and then building a sustainable feud that makes it
you can do
reasonable.
Little segments backstage.
Yeah. So now
that's
just imagine,
fine, but it's just this match is technically changing of the guard, right? For MLW, right? It's the future, the new face. And if you're doing this, needs to be promos, not just backstage. It needs to be in the ring. They need to. This has to be a program. I feel that has to have so much build. It has to be important.
I disagree because look at the Calvin Tankman Alex Kane rivalry. There was stuff backstage where You seen where
Yes, there was stuff
Calvin Taker tried to run in
backstage.
the
There was
car.
stuff in the ring. There was so much. There was even antics on both of them on social media. This felt like a
But
real
with Sam,
issue.
hold on, with Sam Leterna, right? When she's there, she could be interviewing Alex Kane around the ring, or Mr. Thomas could have a match, and he could be with the broadcast team, and he could talk shit, or vice versa.
What they
because
need is a
you're
face-to-face.
You're writing. Well, technically, this guy's hurt, so you're writing him off for a little bit because he's hurt, and he was ambulanced out, went to a.
Right, so then
Went to
there
a
was no
emergency room.
need to push this match of a high magnitude until he is 100% healthy and back.
That's where it comes in.
But
Yeah.
still,
When
he needs to
he's
finish
back,
up the
Alex
crap
Kane can
with the
take
calling.
that shot.
Okay, so
You're
just
stuck on the
imagine-
call.
Yeah.
Because
You-
that's
yeah,
a
you tell
big
people,
problem.
you
It
tell
is a plot hole.
Yes,
It is a
but-
massive plot hole. And
but
they booked themselves to
just
where it is an
imagine,
issue.
but just imagine next week's episode. They say, "Oh, Court Bauer has announced that at the July show, Never Say Never is going to be Alex Kane against Alex Hammerstone." Right there, he makes the match. Now we're gonna have to wait till July. Now you get the taping for the next 2 months, and then
That
two
would be
things-
the easiest route possible.
Exactly. Now, two things can happen from now till then. Hammerstone cannot be cleared to wrestle, so because the injury is worse. So, supposedly Kane can cash it at any time. You go to the back, you beat him up in the back, and you pin him. He wins the belt. Now you get rid of Hammerstone. Or it happens in the ring in 2 months because they already announced it next week that the main event for this show is going to be this and this. Now you have 2 months to get rid of the calling from now till then.
And remember, Alexander Hammerstone doesn't have to be wrapped around this group.
Man.
SGC could take that.
Exactly. Because if you notice a battle royal last night, Matthew Justice was fighting with one of the guys outside in the back, and they even said, "Oh, I guess the second gear crew keeps having their issues with the calling." So they already put that seasoning that the feud is going to be now between the calling and the second gear crew, which makes more sense instead of Hammerstone being in there.
So essentially, what you're
Is that
saying
better?
is they get demoted from messing with top guy to SGC, right? And then
Well, hold
now
on.
that
It wasn't-
Hammerstone.
Alexander Hammerstone joined to help them.
The second gear crew. So yeah,
They beat up Hammerstone, but he joined them at that fight. It was like Hammerstone and SGC, but you don't have to keep Hammerstone in that position. They came
Exactly.
in, they beat the guy up randomly for no reason. Then they technically, like you said, they hurt him. They already did what they had to do with him.
plus
They put him on the
a
shelf
good
for a
thing,
little bit.
yeah,
and
and
then-
then like you said, when the injury happened, he took himself out of the match and out of the feud because now he was out and he became the second gear crew against the calling in the whole war chamber. So now you can continue them three against whatever 3 guys or 4 guys the calling has. It
Why you
works
look
perfectly.
frustrated?
I mean, I understand what you're saying, your frustration. I understand, Junior.
Yeah.
I understand your frustration. I understand that, but unfortunately, MLW is working on different gears. You know, we're not. You know, they're doing the impact tapings now. Where now, okay, well, we're about to lose our channel again, and we're gonna have to go to YouTube. So let's take a break for the next 2 months. We have tapings already done. We still have the taping from Mexico that did in February. We still haven't seen that yet.
Nope.
We still
I
haven't seen what
think-
happened to Duran. You know, they could put that in there for a month that he's down in Mexico, and don't give the whole Mexico for like 2 or 3 weeks. You know,
I think the frustration just comes in where I feel is just bad booking right now. I'm
How's
just
it
not a
bad?
fan of the way it's being. I'm just not a fan of the way it's being booked. I think there's just too many holes here, and it's just all over the place.
In this case, they want to think like Uncle Vince treats us like a bunch of morons that we don't know anything. This is the same thing that,
Unfortunately,
Uncle Vince treats us like that. We don't know anything. We'll give them what they think they want, and they're gonna like it. And you're gonna hate it or like it. If you hate it, too damn bad. We're still gonna do it anyways. So because they think we're morons. So in this case, MLW is doing the same thing. Well, we know they've got some holes, but we just lost our channel, and we're stuck.
You know what though?
In a hard place.
Let me say this, and I'm gonna be honest with you. The difference between us that talk this and a lot of other podcasts is we don't let people. We let people know, we ain't the dummies here. We know that you fucking dropped. We know MLW dropped the ball with the whole who's funding Bomaye. Never happened. Yeah. Right.
They still haven't gotten to that.
That's done. That's not a thing.
I thought it was they didn't.
Who?
Never mind. Continue.
What?
Oof,
what happened?
That's rough.
Who'd you think?
I thought that they just said it was Mr. Thomas and went over with it. No.
No.
Jesus. Wow.
No. That's never happened. The IWA partnership, the Puerto Rico one, where they made a brand new belt out, and they had one match. The guy, what's his name? The guy who won it, Octagon Jr. He won it. We never seen him again. Yeah. We haven't seen him again.
I don't even think the partnership still exists with them because they haven't mentioned anything.
Nothing. So you talk about this brand new belt. So this is what we do here, and this is why also I know we kind of ruffle some feathers, but I mean we got to keep it real. We're the only ones who are going to. You know what I'm saying? Like all these other podcasts want to tell everybody, oh, everything's perfect. They're doing a great job. Fuck that. If you're doing great shit, we're gonna say you do great shit. If you're doing dumb shit, we're gonna say you do dumb shit. That's how we do things. If you like it or not, too bad. But we support the product, we support the talent, we support the show. We do this. We have a lot of fun. There are a few people who they DM me, y'all that last one we did, they hate you, bro. Like you came in hot, and they were like, yo, why you got this guy in your podcast? He's shitting on everything. Then AB shitting on things, and I'm the guy who usually does it, and I'm trying to be the nice guy.
It's not called shading on stuff when it's us being honest because we are fans, and we're being honest in what we're seeing. We're not clones. We're not sheep. We're not gonna say, oh, everything is wonderful when we see it's messed up. If this break really happens like they're saying it's gonna happen in 2 weeks, I'm gonna be disappointed because I hate that damn break. Like Julius
I'm
said,
not against it.
It's not the momentum that they have.
It kills the momentum every time.
It does kill the momentum, but I think at the state of where it's at, I think that's the best thing for them. They have so many holes that they need to take a lot of time to just reevaluate what the fuck they're doing, because it's messy to me. It's too all over the place, and it's hard to keep track of everything. I think even for the average consumer. So
you know what? Let me try to transition us out of here with a few questions, and then we can go. Now that Enzo is no longer with MLW, okay? Who's the only person on that entire show? And I'm going to take away. You can't say Jacob Fatu. I'm going to take 2 names away from you. Give me a second, because Muffin says something, and he's right. Jacob Fatu checks all my boxes, right? Like he checks all my boxes. I like that street shit. I grew up in that street shit. I like the violence. I like the aggressiveness. I like the cursing, talking crazy. That is such a small demographic of people that watch wrestling that will go, oh, I really like that. This guy's dope. Like they're not even going to say the word dope. So now take 90% of that demographic out. Now, what do you think people are going to be saying? Oh, wow, they really got this street guy as a champ. They got this guy. Remember, he didn't have to talk with Jacob Fatu. I mean, with Josef Samael. And Josef Samael was a lyrical genius. He made everything sound phenomenal. So he didn't have to curse. Take Jacob Fatu out that way now, and take Alex Kane out that position, And the only reason why I'm going to take him out that is because you are going to say Alex Kane. So besides Alex Kane and Jacob Fatu, who's going to draw you in when you got your live pay-per-view now? What roster member is going to be able to do that?
This is an unpopular opinion, and I'm going to get a lot of flack for this. Davey Boy Smith, if anyone has seen his New Japan work, I would actually say
I was going to say the same guy.
Yeah, that's fine.
I was going to say the same name too.
It's hard to like knock the guy. It really is. He's an in-ring technician. He is good on the mic. I feel like he doesn't get a lot of respect for that because everyone's like, oh well, he was always behind Minoru Suzuki. He was just like the heavy hitter, but that wasn't the case. Singles guy, phenomenal, and I think he can go on the stick with anyone. He won't be as impactful as other people, but he reminds me of the way Bret Hart talked. It was never anything crazy. It was just more like, this is how I feel. This is how it is. That's how it's going to be. So he was always right down to the middle. And if anything, I'd say very British Bulldog-esque. It's the best way I think I could really put that in a way that is fair.
That's a home run. I didn't expect that.
And if you heard the crowd last night, when he came out, they were booing him.
Yeah. So he knows how to get heat, man, and it's the simplest of things.
And Alex Kane was getting cheered with the Bomaye. Now, to be honest, I wouldn't mind, but I could see Alex Kane being moved to the babyface side and having Davey Boy Smith move to the heel side because of the crowd last night chanting Bomaye and getting louder towards the end of that match, and everybody's behind Alex Kane to win. I mean, that's definitely a baby face move to move him to the side, and Davey Boy Smith being the heel.
BB, give me 1 second. To be kind of in a corny wrestling terminology, if Alex Kane, which I do say yes, if Alex Kane takes the belt off of Hammerstone, you're going to have a babyface take the belt off a babyface?
Why not?
No, I'm asking.
Hey, they did it with Hogan, Ultimate Warrior. And you
fair
saw
because you look like.
Well, I think there's not enough credit on Davey Boy Smith. The guy knows how to get heat off of anything. He really does. And so I think what we seen was amazing crowd manipulation that turned that to where Alex Kane was getting cheered.
Okay. So at this point, our top four guys, meaning our MLW guys, would be Alexander Hammerstone, Jacob Fatu, Alex Kane, Davey Boy Smith Jr.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Because I thought one of you guys were going to go with Mance, because Mance, I think, can go on a mic, and he is talented. But
I love Mance, but Mance is very one directional. I poke God, let's get dirty, let's wrestle, and let's get bloody. And I love Mance. So that's like the 5 main things of Mance Warner.
Well, see, he's in the crew and now going up against the calling. So I won't even mention his name.
Yeah.
And then you losing John Hannigan. You lost your guy there, Enzo.
Davey Richards is gone.
Davey Richards is gone for good reasons.
Yeah.
And then you have Leo Rush, who anytime could retire. So
now, okay, being that obviously this is like Bomaye radio time because we're just all Alex Kane.
Hey man, he did his shit.
Could you see? Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Can you? Huh?
I think that he's an unpopular opinion too, but I do feel that if they really ever needed like a heel faction that's not going to be shit, you can always put Davey Boy Smith with somebody, and you can have him lead that.
No, he has with his nephews, the Billington boys.
The who?
The Billington boys. They're like the real skinny little guys.
Never heard of them.
So I got two more. Let's get them in. Let's get them out. Two more. Can you guys see Lio Rush joining Bomaye Fight Club to kind of project them into more of a serious faction in MLW?
Who, Lio Rush?
The only way,
yeah,
the only way I see that if he's the guy funding it.
He's a what?
If he's the guy funding it, yes. If not, no. I think he'd actually feud against him. I think that his character is too much of an ego. I don't think he can play second fiddle with Alex Kane. So, and I don't mean that Lio Rush the person has an ego. I mean his character,
his storyline, the gimmick.
Yeah. So I feel like it would be an ego-driven thing, and the only way I could ever see that happening is if they eventually feud for the belt. That's the only way I could see that happening. So it would be a temporary thing, and that's that.
Muffins, and you're saying hell no?
I'm saying hell no because I still think, like you said before, months ago, it should be Kim Broadway, a member of Bomaye, or even him funding Bomaye.
Okay. Now, my next question is, we'll tell this to the ladies, right? And it's hard because Tai is no longer there, right? We know that it's official. That's not a spoiler. That's official. That MLW even said that she was finishing up her dates and she's gone, right? So going forward, we do know that we have WXO. We've seen Becca a few times, which I've never. MLW has had Becca once before this set, and I was never like sold on her. On this set, I was like, yo, someone I know was there and was like, yo, bro, this white girl who came out singing, she's dope. And I'm like, who? Then I hear that Becca did her own theme song coming out, right?
That's a new gimmick now. Just she's using
the pop star Becca or international something or whatever it is. So I started following her stuff. I started looking for her matches, and I was like, yo, Becca's really talented, right? Like, this girl is really good. We know that Mandy Leon has had a few matches, so I'm really excited about that. The reason I bring this up is because I think that if we have WXO, Becca, I hope they bring back Kayla Cassidy, Mandy Leon. Billy Starks is the one I wanted to bring up because there was a rumor. Is that official? Because I know Shivani said so, and no one else has said anything.
That is true. You're right.
You know, like, and that was how long ago that he said, "Oh, she signed to AEW." AEW has
maybe, I want to say like 3 weeks ago he said that.
Yeah, and high school is what she got, like what, a month left, right? So if they're waiting for her to finish high school,
18 now. So, what'd you say, Junior?
I didn't say anything.
Oh, yeah. I mean, she's 18 now, so she's 18 now. So I don't think the high school should matter because they only wrestle.
She's done her prom already.
Huh?
She's already did her prom.
Yeah, I know, but you know, she wrestles once a week. It'll be on Wednesday nights. So
I don't know. I hope that there's a chance we bring her in because I like Billy Starks a lot. I know you do. But if there was one more name, and Muffins, you can't use Viva Van. If there's one name that you would bring in for the women's roster, who would it be? And then BV, you finish it off.
I'll say Gabi Ortiz because she's right in Philly, and they will do the stuff right there in Philly at the ECW Arena, and they also do New York. She's right there. I mean, she could drive over to the place they need her, so she'd be good. She's Latina, multicultural, so you know she's fluent in English and Spanish. So,
BV, who you got? No Viva Van.
Trisha Dora.
But she had a couple of matches there too, a couple of times.
Okay. I'm not mad at it. I'm gonna say Ava Everett, the new WXW wrestling champion, and they have a partnership with them supposedly. So I'd like to see her defend her belt in MLW. That's who I'm going with. BB, you got anything to say? You want to drop some links? You want to talk about shit real quick before we get out of here?
Yeah, sure. Actually, tomorrow.
You see the smile? He was like, yeah, with everything else. You say, oh, drop some information. Oh, yeah, I got it. What do I got? Don't tell me you got a list in front of you right now.
No, but tomorrow I'll actually be going through. I'll be recording my interview with the direct care worker, Theo Miller. We'll be talking about the inadequacies and the failures of the public system and how it fails youth, the elderly, and a lot of other things. It'd be a nice about 1 hour interview, and so I can't wait to do that with them. We did one with the Marine Corps veteran. I still haven't released part 2, which talked about basic life, fathering job, things like that. So really cool that I'll release that soon. I know I haven't posted any shorts yet. I'll be doing that tomorrow, just kind of make sure we have some stuff going forward. And then that podcast with the direct care worker will be out on Friday night. So definitely take a look at that.
And this is on YouTube. How do you find it?
It's on YouTube. It's on RSS. It's on Apple Podcasts.
YouTube, specifically YouTube name.
The Jenny Podcast.
That's how they put it. They put Gen E Podcast. That's what's going to come up on YouTube.
The Gen space E space podcast. You'll find us.
Muffins, what we got so we can get up out of here?
Hey man, I want to give a shout out to all you guys. Give a shout out to all the listeners. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, and Facebook, Instagram, Urban Wrestling Network. And don't forget, if you have a little phone, hit the little QR code there, the barcode, and you can get all handsome guys pages for you. We even have wallpapers of me rubbing some butter on my stomach.
Whoa!
Whoa! From my OnlyFans page.
Things are bad. So for Urban Wrestling Network, for MLW Confusion, for Gen E Podcast, find everything. Y'all know what it is. We out of here. Deuces.